Is who's on there?
Is that right? Nobody online yet from the board yet. We have four, there's only six of you.
All right, good evening, everybody. The time is 6:01 PM on Thursday, October 26th. This is our monthly board meeting. We do have a quorum. We have Kathy, John Deere, myself, Will, and our treasurer in presence. Sean, thank you. Let's see, so quorum established, approval of prior minutes. Are there any comments on the prior minutes?
The ones I just sent today.
Any comments? All right. Motion,
Well,
go ahead.
it said, I didn't see any minutes, I'm sorry, where did you send some minutes?
I sent them just a little while ago because I did them because I have not heard from.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not see them, I printed everything off earlier this afternoon. My apologies.
There were a couple of things that I have when I read through it. Did you see my comments?
Yes, and actually I sent you the wrong one. I was supposed to be sending you one that I made changes to, but I was on the phone.
Oh.
So I did.
All right, so she sent the corrected minutes out at about 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Do we have printed copies of those so we can distribute them and we can all read to them?
I
I
can-
don't hear this. I don't know shit. I think I have no shit.
So did you get to see it?
Yeah, I started peeking at it.
This is also the.
John Hammond's here.
Hello.
Does everybody have a copy of the minutes sent out at 5 o'clock? Kathy?
She just had the.
Okay, good to go.
copy, So
All right,
I will. have
we
to
will just,
Speed read.
we'll just, everybody review.
Mac is gonna try to attend.
Mhm.
He's emailing me back and forth right now. We also had December 5th, 2002 special meeting minutes that needed to be approved.
Corrected and approved.
Corrected and approved, yes, so they were suggested, the only thing that was added was for the auditor down at the bottom. To explain the special assessment of 5420 was assessed to the 1,229 units, totaling $66,611. Yes,
That's correct, yes.
yes. So that was also need to be motioned and approved.
The auditor needed the detail that was as per
Good with
the
minutes.
minutes. So
I'm trying to see if I can, I'm sorry.
Check your email, 5:05 PM today.
So, under the business about the battery, there was a dollar amount connected with that.
I'm sorry,
There was a dollar amount connected with that.
to the, for their batteries, yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't remember.
it's about 1900 all times.
Yeah, 1597.
Yeah.
John Deere wants the dollar amount reflected in the minutes for the gem cart battery.
Yeah, I have that as well.
The battery would be. 1,849.93
$1,849.93.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, it's not in
Yes.
the plumbing's in there. The new business. Overriding, so, I mean,
That's going to be 1934.92 is the actual price.
After tax and all.
19.
34.92.
I know there was a dollar amount in the mulch, down at the bottom, for a slate mulch.
Mulch. What?
Looks like mulch, dollar amount.
and the pool planning.
Wait, was it the toilets and not to exceed?
The-
Okay, should we just say not to exceed 3,000?
That's what the invoice was then, I mean, I can change that.
Do you mind?
If we're talking about the sun. That would be. I see 15,600.
Or, I'm sorry, which?
That was
Westlake mulch,
Westlake was,
$9,620.
yeah, they were quoted it, we put it as installation as 4,225 and removal 5,394, which probably gives us a combination of the total.
Exactly.
620.
And that was approved also,
Yeah, it was approved.
was like removal and
Anything else, sir?
We'll have one,
The sunrise pool planting,
Okay,
yeah,
that one, and wasn't there a price for the cameras and routing to maintain the,
1,400.
okay.
And then
It looks like we're just missing the dollar amounts
The dollar
on
amounts
these,
and all of
it's
this.
pretty much what it is,
You know, I have that all.
that's what it
my
is, just
email
about everything
emails
missing the
having
dollar,
issues,
except for a couple.
So, let me try sending it to my other account.
And, okay, and update that then,
Yeah, I'll send her the thing that I have the dollar amounts in mind.
okay.
Kathy, any changes?
Um. No, I was just going to agree as far as. Does that change on the amount to exceed on the, for, 3,000 for the toilets, and then also to put all the dollar amount in if possible.
Hi, Mac, thanks for joining us from Italy.
Sorry,
Right now, we're reviewing the minutes that were sent out at 5:05 PM Eastern Time today.
Copy. I had a chance to review them. Hello to everybody.
hello,
hi, Mac.
Right. Motion to approve the minutes from September 28th meeting. Is there a
But
second
there has to be changes.
with.
with?
With my
With the dollar
update,
amounts included.
I'll combine my
So you're
information.
gonna put it on hold and table it till next month.
Well, I would rather wait till see them see the corrections.
What I don't wanna do is the people are screaming for minutes from our meetings, and if we put this off for another month, that'll be 2 months away that they won't get to review the minutes from the past meeting. So would you be okay with approving the minutes with the dollar amounts added?
You want me to go in right now and just to be.
You wanna update it right now?
Do it, go and do
Okay.
it right now, and then bring it back. Perfect, okay.
Then let's,
You're gonna take notes, so I don't have to worry about it, right?
Dollar
Yep.
amounts has been a problem for part of the audit, just so you know.
gotcha. Okay, we will table approval of the minutes then.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next item, treasurer's report.
Standard overview that I had, so, I'm gonna pass it around.
Thank you.
Yep, Jason. Everything seems to be in order from what we're predicting at this point, so, numbers look okay. That's it. So everybody is in the black at this point, which is typical the last quarter, getting funding and that kind of everything. Our receivables have gone up again. Just to let you know that, every couple $1,000 makes a difference, but I do want to let you know that 5 people consume more than 2/3 of it. We're
So,
waiting on the one that Giddings, and a couple others that were problems that we've been, into trying to get, we're supposed to have that cleared up this month, but it's not happening still.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You said something
The
about,
ones that we're supposed to settle, that basically Melissa was working on, that we were supposed to see money. That the actual payment off our sheets collected, we have not seen that money as of yet. Waiting for it to come from her. She says she did receive one of them, I think.
do we have an ETA? From,
That's a question that you better ask by Patty, because I don't
from
have
Patty?
direct communication with her.
so the settlements, it's still pending.
It's still pending.
But you said though that our receivables have increased this,
Well, we were at 19,000 in the end of July, and we've gone up about $1,000 to $1,500 every month since.
that's a significant
Mhm.
increase.
we're doing the same thing we've been doing for the rest of the year, which is on the tenth, I send a statement out as a reminder. On the sixteenth, we send a late notice after, assessments have been, then posted for the day. And, then that's forwarded to Melissa, and if they don't pay within 30 days, so turn over the collections at that point. There was a section there where we had multiple of them that didn't get put into collections, and we're not exactly sure why. We sent them over to them, it didn't happen. I don't think I have an explanation for that at this moment, but that might be part of what we're feeling here.
So did you anticipate that the board member packets that you sent by email would be included in the minutes?
They should be.
Did everybody get a copy of those? Did you get a copy?
What is this now?
Was titled an email that said, Bishop Ranch West Board Member Packets.
Yes, I got those.
Because that was probably more of a traditional presentation.
It is a traditional presentation.
Yes.
If that's generated by AppFolio, it's the same packet I've been sending you for the last 3 or 4 months.
Got that. This
So it's
is-
much more detailed than the summary cash position. Right.
Right,
So, you would make a motion to include these in the minutes?
I can't make a motion. You're welcome.
You can, make a motion that we include those in the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
You want to include the 45-page document that he sent out. in the minutes.
We post that, you can make a reference to the minutes that's posted on the NAS drive, but we have posting it, that's.
I think that's a better
Yeah,
option.
that's a better way.
Because all the financials are available, they're on.
They're all online. Every time I produce one, I put them in the day after you guys have seen them, so that they're up.
I'm sorry, can you restate your motion?
We stated to make reference to the financial statements that are posted to the portals and that portal.
It's actually, yeah, directly through AppFolio, the NAS, or our website.
it's on mass.
FHRW.org.
Yes,
Okay,
so it's on. there.
yes,
Yeah.
To the website?
yes.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Absolutely. Any opposed?
Aye.
Anything else from the treasurer today?
No, I will get to the budget portion of it, in our other line item, but yes, wonderful.
Community managers report. I'd like to do the community managers report with the community manager present. All right, I'd like to propose a 5-minute recess while we wait for her to get back with us and then we can continue the meeting. Else we're gonna keep waiting for the community manager to be here.
Okay,
Okay, I'll second that motion.
Favor 5-minute recess, say aye.
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 And,
Hmm?
and then restart.
Okay. Keep recording if you can.
how many people are out?
3.
Is this the new minutes?
Yes. I did 5 copies.
You reconvene, I need to make a statement about the several there's an error.
There's an error on what? I'm sorry.
I'll tell you that it is another, it goes in the budget. You need to put all the plan here.
Read them.
Yes.
I made those adjustments for dollar amount to the junk card for 1935.92, was like March 96.20. Approval for install and removal, not to exceed 3,000 by the birds, and full plantings 10,718.
Kathy, the minutes are back, so if you want to look at it, go into recess, and then
Yeah, that's fine.
That right when I didn't hear from you, so that's what I did. Transfer from school department to them.
I would have quit. That is even better than
Well, you can look at the minutes during the recess and then when we reconvene, we can prove it.
wasn't there correction last month's meeting, the minutes that not September, but August that I made, I wanted a correction, there was a correction.
Yeah, the correction was made.
Okay, so we need to approve August meeting
Correct.
with the correction.
Well, technically, I think the motion was to approve with the corrections. That is. Is that not, that what the minutes said? Yeah, that's what I approved. And there was a motion, to make a reference to the financials through Appfolio to the HOA website by John Deere, seconded by Green. All was there in favor?
Should have the word account financials.
Matt, we're gonna send you the financials. The overview.
It's got the detail already.
He has it.
Well, here's the detail.
Right.
This and that. I'll go back and then I'll do it for you, so. Get it in my email, or something. Big one.
It's 5 minutes, motion to reconvene. Second,
Seconded.
favor of reconvening, say aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Right. Motion to approve the minutes from September 28th. Is there a second
Seconded.
discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Meetings-
I'm an aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. All right, we did treasurer's report already. Anything else from the treasurer?
Yes, I noticed that there was a change that I made to both the budget and should have been made, but this was not made. Is that the liability on the master is actually not fully the master. Part of it, the $51,000 from associates master, but the $60,000 pending for Park Square technically is Sandpiper Crest. So it's been separated out in our budget at this point, but it has not been here, but you can see that it improves our position, decreases theirs a little bit, that doesn't affect them. So I'll make that correction before this gets distributed out to everyone.
What's the amount that goes down to the Sandpiper press line? I'm sorry, I'm gonna.
It's okay, I was trying to do this and having a problem with so let me just go back to it. It is broken down to be 50,799.28 should be on the master.
Okay.
And 60,000 $616.96 on Park Square or St. Pepper. So let me go back again, 50,799.28 for the master. 50,799.28. And for St. Pepper Crest should be 60,616.96.
The one, the 50,000 is actually.
It's the library for associate. Which I can talk to a little bit after speaking to Patty, they counter offered at $42,000 on that item. And he's trying to go back and get someone between the two offers, so we'll see how that goes. It only took them 2 months to respond.
Mhm. Anything else, Sean?
That's it. Thank you.
Let's see, community managers report.
Short and sweet. You wanna read it for me?
Yeah. I can read it out pretty bad, sure. So everybody in the room can hear. So the management report this month, for the month of October. The tree removal and dead wood of the lake house trees has been completed. The stump removals have also been completed. The candidates meeting was a success. The mailings for the election is planned to be mailed out November 1st. And the election runner will be available for election voting at that time. In the Parrot Villas, Patty and Will have been working together to discuss with Ballinger for irrigation timer installation. In Sagewood, the irrigation timers have installation is almost complete. The mulch is being removed from the common area and landscape beds of the homes will be replaced in a few weeks. At the pool, the toilets in the pool bathrooms repairs have been completed and they are all working well. There was a flange that needed a replacement and is in the board packet for approval. The plumber took the liberty of repairing it as he was doing the replacement and has submitted the invoice for approval. The security patrol reports are available for all to see if requested. There has been a change in one of the security officers and the new security officer is currently being trained. Luther, the regular security officer, will be distributing Halloween candy on Halloween to show that the company is friendly with the community. For the social committee, the fall festival was a success and Jennifer will be assisting in handling the Santa along with the social committee. Lastly, collections, Mankin Law Group has been working diligently with currently 9 people in collections. Is that number correct, Sean?
It's not. Once you receive some today.
What's the delta there?
I have 12 listed in the system. They're in testing collections. I can. But it put again. Don't see that, so I don't know for that. One second, just gonna double check.
Can we handle that after the meeting? You guys can get together and work that out. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
You want this?
Officer reports. I have nothing to report today. Vice President Matt, anything to report?
Come here.
Yeah, he's trying to unmute. No. Not yet, can't hear you yet. He was trying to unmute.
Secretary, anything?
Oh, he's got it.
Negative.
Negative, gotcha. And we already heard from the treasurer. We broke out that separately. All right, next, so new business. First thing we're gonna talk about is an art appeal for 5907 Nature's Ridge Lane. Any comments?
Present?
Does anyone want to make a motion on this? Is the owner's present?
This is.
Has everyone had? Did you review this in the pack? Has everybody had a chance to look at this one?
Yes. I have, I walked by the, because they're in Westlake, so I know exactly where it is.
Could we hear the nature of the
Patty, would you like to explain it?
Actually, Jen can, because she's the ARC.
Wonderful.
But make it in front of me, sorry.
Let's see. Basically, writing in response to recent review and denial of request to add pavers and a small artificial grass cutting green to the private area of our lawn at 5907 Nature Ridge Lane.
wish to appeal the decision based upon the following. The original request one added additional pavers to match existing as shown in attachment A-3 and attachment B. Reason for denial, 4.17 permanent structures shall not extend into side yard area beyond the side yard setback line. Reason for appeal, number one, the brick pavers are not considered a permanent structure per the Hillsborough County Building Code. Two, the requested pavers extend beyond the edge of the home, but are located directly behind the garage, connected to the home via a permanent breezeway that are not visible to the public. See, attachment B. And three, there is a precedent for such extension in the Westlake neighborhood as illustrated in attachment D, which is similarly configured to our request. Original request number two, add additional turf putting green as shown in attachment A-3 and attachment B. Reason for denial, 4.17 permanent structures shall not extend into side yard areas beyond the side yard line. Also, don't have the second part of that.
It's, the second part is actually the last page. It's after all the pictures.
Okay. Also B-2, artificial plants. No artificial plants may be attached to the exterior of the house or located within the planted yards. Reason for the appeal, number one, artificial turf is not considered a permanent structure and cannot be replaced with grass at any time. And can be replaced at any time, sorry. Number two, the area requested is located behind the garage as illustrated in attachment B and is not visible to the public. And three, there is a precedence for such request in Westlake neighborhood as illustrated in attachment C. The purpose of our request is to intend to enhance both the exterior look and value of our home. We believe that our past requests are evident from our commitment to the beauty of out community. For these reasons, we respectfully ask that you consider and approve our request. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us for clarification. That's okay. I just figured that would just give all the answers. Would you, yes, like to look.
Does the board have any comments? Cassie?
Can I make a statement? I know of 4 putting greens, but they're putting ones, in people's yards, but I don't know of anyone that could have just that.
Yeah, I don't know about.
This request is for a putting green, AstroTurf putting green, is that correct?
We have 2 others in our neighborhood along, so.
One that it was approved, an ARC approval, and one that was not, that would never went to approve. Okay, and unfortunately for, these homeowners, their house is on a corner that is highly visible from 2 sides, 2 roads, both Nature's Ridge and Lake Fishhawk. So so you would see these areas and where the one that's next to Esther's old house, you don't see that from a street area, that putting green from the front of their house. You see it
If you're
walking
here.
here, but you do not see it from the front of their house. And I think that's potentially why that one was approved.
The guidelines also say that anyone that's on a corner does not have a side yard, they have 2 front yards.
As you were well aware,
I'm well aware,
yes,
because I'm on them.
yes.
So this, then they technically have a side yard.
I want to pull this up and do it now, sir. Okay.
And
So
the other,
why don't we have the representative from the ARC to come address this?
He is the neither price. He did not want to be present. I asked him if he wanted to.
Nature's Reserve.
He says
Oh, I see what this
the
is.
guidelines are the guidelines.
he's
And
on
that's
the
all he's
corner
supposed to
there, Mark,
Yeah.
right there on the corner of Nature Ridge and, Lake West, Lake Fishhawk.
Mhm.
And you can see the yard from all corners.
Right. Yeah.
And also our guidelines specifically say that just because it's been approved one time is not setting a precedence. For somebody else to be approved.
Can I make a comment?
Of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I did look at it. One question I had also was mentions the public. But the public includes, in my mind, neighbors. So just because something may not be visible from the street does not mean it's not visible from a neighbor, and a neighbor has the same view. So I think it has to be a 360 perspective also, not just from the street. And I don't know what the ARC committee thinks about that. I've just shared one of my insights is, how is it screened? How is it screened from not only the public, but also from their neighbors? And I think this is important. And I just had this conversation with another neighbor who wants to do his whole backyard with this. And I said, you have 4 houses that back up on your backyard. And even if the people who own that house now think that's okay, if they go to sell it, the people they buy it from may not. Right. And so this is a long-term investment. I don't know. I'm just hesitant. I think we have to look at it from that perspective. But if the ARC people, and there's some ARC experts on the board, if I'm off the mark, then I withdraw my comments.
Yeah, I think.
No, I think you have a very valid point, Mac. Thank you.
What do you think, John?
I think we ought to go with the ARC committee.
Well,
I mean, the previous approval. I don't know if I would have approved that, but I don't think we should set more of a precedent that we should not be moving forward with these. Otherwise, they're gonna get these requests a lot more, if we keep allowing this.
we have to motion one way or another, so someone,
I'll make a motion to deny the request approval.
is there,
Both appeals, right? There are 2 of them.
Definitely not for the turf. So, and I think if they want the turf, I'm sure they're not gonna wanna invest in pavers and things that are meant to go with the turf.
Request.
But they were broken into, because he did 5 things to the home. So 3 of the items got approved and these 2 did not get approved. These 2 items were denied. So it would be 2,
The
the
pavers.
pavers are 1, and then the AstroTurf putting green is the second one, yes.
Okay.
So I say no, definitely no to the turf. That's my motion. If
So
someone-
Johanna is making a motion to deny the appeal for AstroTurf.
Mhm.
is there a
The
second?
AstroTurf cutting green.
Yes, for top party green, yes.
All in favor of denying the appeal for the AstroTurf, say aye.
I,
Mr. Mayor,
Aye. Aye.
thank you.
Let's talk about their pavers. They want to install pavers on the side yard, is that correct?
Yes, be on the side plan of that.
Pavers to match existing pavers in B. So they currently have pavers in the backyard and they want these to extend beyond the house line to the is it to the property line?
yes, for the side yard setback line, and it's, according to the denial from the ARC, is that
Okay,
should not extend into the side yard beyond the side setback.
What was the reasoning for wanting that? Did they,
What
what
on beyond the side plane of the home?
is it?
Permanent structures shall not extend into the side yard beyond the side yard setback line.
If I'm not mistaken, when we went through the architectural, we allowed, a permanent structure of a fire pit in the side yard. Is that correct? Did we include that as one of the terms?
don't recall.
I'm pretty sure. That we added in there was a request for that because some people wanted to be able to put the main arbors there and that was dropped and then potentially with you. Now I don't have them in front of me, but I could pull them up.
So they want to put it right there.
Something that was
This is
approved
side
in the
plan.
architectural guidelines.
Okay, so are they looking maybe to make a patio basically placement?
Side yard pattern.
Um,
And again, this,
Something like that.
again, a corner lot, according to definition, is considered two front
Front yard.
Which are seen.
So he doesn't have a sizable yard. per
Well, it does,
se.
just a small middle space where utilities are.
So this would be, I understand the true front yard mentality. And this is the non-street facing.
Non, well, if it's non-street facing, I think.
Looking at the picture, it looks like there's a house, but I see that.
Yeah. This is the house you're talking about here.
Mhm.
This is the one front yard, this would be the other front yard, and we're talking about this area in here.
Well, I know a lot of properties that have. You know, some sort of, seating like that in the back right there.
We're talking about this area in here in between the house.
Well, I've seen approval, I mean, I know that they have had approval, some of them. Add a little bit more to that, I think that was the only issue that has ever come up, but it's not. That one is not abnormal for the community.
The other two overlaps. Right. So they-
All right. Let's just go, any other comments? I would make the motion to approve or the motion to disapprove, and either way, the other.
Tonight.
All right, we'll go with the precedent. I will make a motion to deny. So if you vote in opposed to this, then you're approving it. Motion to deny the side yard patio. Pavers. Second.
I'll second. Either one.
No? In favor?
Uh,
4 in favor.
Yeah, I guess I.
Well, is it not?
Well, I'll go with, I'm kind of on the fence anyway, and.
Well, there's no fence involved.
It's pavers.
That was this time last year.
Mac, yes, no?
Back. So far, we have.
I'm less inclined to deny this. But again, my concern is it faces back to a public spot. If it's not screened, then it's open. And it also butts up to the neighbor's yard. Again, I don't know, I don't get a good sense of what the screening is there. So I'm hesitant to say no. But I guess I would have to say, just say no. I'll say no on this one.
Okay, so. Are you in favor of the motion or opposed?
The motion to deny.
The motion to deny.
Yeah, so I'll vote no.
He is
No.
opposed, I'm opposed.
I mean, even if we have to oppose, it's still
Again, this
passes.
is on the.
Right.
Right.
Well, no, we'll just go with that.
So,
So which way you went?
No,
okay, 4 in favor of denying, 2 opposed to denying,
Thank you.
all right. Next item,
The policy.
policy resolution for board directors of staggered terms. Motion needed, so
Haven't seen it. No, I haven't, sorry, I didn't see it.
the motion on the table would be to approve the policy to establish staggered terms as written by the community association manager. Would there be a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Second discussion?
Oh,
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
I think, yeah, you look at me.
Anybody wants to talk about it? Let's read, let's read the policy out loud so that everybody is tracking every word of it. And then we'll go through it. Okay. So,
Yeah, it's in conjunction with what the election was submitted last year.
And what the documents state.
Yeah, and that's what came from the first part, so.
Right.
this is very, you've seen this, this is very similar to what's been written in the past.
Yes,
Okay, so here is, I will read it out loud for everyone's awareness and then we can jump over it. So policy resolution 2023-1 is the first policy we made this year. How about that? Board of Directors staggered term of office, whereas section 2.7 of the bylaws of Fishhawk Ranch West, herein referred to as bylaws, assigns the Board of Directors board all powers and duties necessary for the administration of the affairs of Fishhawk Ranch West Association, and states that the board may do all such acts and things except those matters that the board is prohibited from doing by law or the governing documents. Whereas section 3.16 of the bylaws provides that the directors shall exercise their powers and duties in good faith and in the best interest of the association and its members. Whereas the Board of Directors wishes to establish standards for the operation and governance of the association that serve as guiding principles for both volunteer leaders and members of the association. And whereas the board has determined that it is in the best interest of the association and the association's members to adopt a resolution to have the Board of Directors begin staggered terms on the Board of Directors once elected. Of the 7 members elected, the first 4, if the majority votes, will assume the 2-year term, and 3 elected members with the fewer number of votes assume the 1-year term. Thereafter, will follow these terms to ensure continuity of the board. If any director resigns or is removed from the board, the appointee will continue the elected member's term. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Directors hereby adopts Board of Directors staggered terms, revolving members every 1 year and 2 years. Board of Directors is important to ensure continuity, fresh perspectives, and effective governance. That's the entirety of the draft resolution.
Who wrote that?
Yeah.
Good.
I did, yeah.
That's about.
So let's start with a brief discussion about what George has to say about this.
George has reviewed it. He made it before I sent it to everybody. And we are actually in violation at the moment because we did not do this at the last election. So the members do not have to vote for the board to follow the directives of the governing documents. This is his email he sent me. The board has the rulemaking authority to pass such a resolution. Section 3.1 of the bylaws provides the board shall govern all association affairs. Additionally, section 7.2b in the declaration provides the board the authorization to make policies regarding operations of the association. So, I mean, he just goes on and on, says the same thing. I mean, he went as far as, I mean, I dug up all the paperwork of when we originally had the other director one. He went to Sunbiz and found everybody up until the current board.
Except they didn't indicate who was 1 and who was 2.
But down here, he does say, no, they did before. The previous boards did have that.
What he listed doesn't show that.
What?
All the people that he listed.
So,
No,
no,
because
he
he
said,
did that,
he said that in the previous HOA board
yes.
prior to this one, did this.
Correct. Did not do it correctly.
No, they did do
They
it.
did do it correctly because they were tiered in from the founder, and the founder tiered them in according to percentage of sales. They were tiered in.
It's
We just did not fulfill those.
as people resigned or if we didn't fill them correctly.
This was the.
May I interrupt?
Only if you're gonna be nice.
Okay, I was on the transition board.
Yes. Can you speak a little louder about, please?
Yes, I was on the transition board with Jeff, myself, Susie Wentz. I can, yeah. Not associate at the time, the managing company was Rosetta. We were all, when we were elected, we were all moved to the table that you're sitting at. The president and the vice president were chosen on a 3-year basis. Correct me if I'm wrong, Patty.
No, you're correct. And the treasurer, it says also.
And the treasurer and any other directors were elected to a 2-year term. Where you people came up with what you're doing now?
We're being nice.
No, I'm being nice. I have no idea. I'm just telling you that came from Rosetta, who had the documents in front of them, and we followed those documents.
And they were correct.
So this conversation is a moot point. You cannot change the governing documents. If a mistake was made, a mistake was made. You have to move forward. The election is coming up. I don't see any way around it. If you're in violation, you open yourself up to some other stuff, which Patty will tell you what you open yourself up to.
Right, so we have a problem, we have to fix it.
We have to fix
We are in
it.
violation currently because we need to have staggered terms.
Correct.
So we need to establish a policy going into the next election, how we are going to establish staggered terms.
Yes.
And that's what this document does.
So because we all were elected and put in.
We were all elected at the same time and we all came on the board and we all served a 2-year term. We should have been staggered at that point. There should have been the bylaws state that the board can determine how that staggering occurs. We can draw straws, we can do high vote, low vote, we can do officer stay, everyone just goes. But the bylaws state that the board members determine that staggering, but we should do it now, going into the next election.
Right.
So it's unbiased for the next board members, and that way it continues.
And I think we don't need a resolution, we just need to be resolved to do it.
That's my understanding as well, because we're really not changing.
Sir, you are not the PCAM. You're not to interpret the rules. You have no vote. Let Mark finish.
Thank you.
That Mark what?
Did I interrupt you?
Okay, just that's for clarification, I know. We're saying we're in violation of staggering. But
Yeah.
there's already been a resignation and I'm not gonna be continuing, so. That means that's down
It's
to.
seats, right? So
Yeah.
going into the next election, 7 people are going to be elected.
Mhm.
We need to establish a procedure right now,
Two, right.
how those 7
Then for
people,
next year.
how those 7 people will be staggered. If one of those 7 people resigns at some point, it is that seat that is staggered, not that person.
Yeah.
So if they resign 6 months in, someone else comes in and takes that seat, they are sitting the remainder of that staggered term, whether it's 6 months or a year and 6 months.
Right.
Now, I know the bylaws talk about the initial staggering, like Bert said, was 3 years and 2 years.
That was just the initial stagger,
Right,
because the 2 people would rotate off and become 1 year, the 2-year people, and the 3rd year was going to be the end of the 2nd year.
right.
So that was what we were getting into having staggered terms.
Yes.
As we're approaching.
So we can get into staggered terms now. If we do 2-year, 1 year, we can do 3 years, 2 years to be more in line with the bylaws. But we have to do something. We can't do nothing.
The bylaws also state that it's a 2-year term after.
That's right. So after you establish that staggering, it's not like those seats continue to serve a 3-year and a 2-year and 3. No. Those 3-year terms, they turn into 2-year terms. So that way you have half the board every year going
Have an
for election.
People coming.
Which is what was recommended initially, so the village is doing what we're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think the resolution's needed.
Yeah, I personally feel like I went back and read all of the bylaws as well.
Mhm.
It's really confusing because of the founder issue. But after the founder leaves and he appoints they get to replace him, yeah. Then it was staggered every year, 2-year term staggered after that. So I don't think we need a resolution. I think all we need to do is follow the rules.
You need, well, right, so that's the thing, John, right, is I agree with you, yes. So how do we do that? How do you think we do that? Going into the next election, we just stagger the terms?
Just announce that
Yeah,
that's what
just
it is.
announce it. Just sit on the ballot saying,
Well, we plan on putting it on the ballot anyway.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
and then we just notify
Well-
people this is what's gonna happen.
So do we want to establish now then that procedure for picking the seats that will serve the 3-year, which seats will serve the 2-year? Do we do as the resolution says?
No, I don't think the bylaws allow for the 3-year. Bylaws only allow for 2 years at this point, was the original. So was for 3 years only to get it into it.
Concur.
So we're already into it.
So
So then you want to do 2-year, 1?
I think that's fair. I mean, I think at this point, this is just good as recommendation as well as just putting this to inform the residents. Because once whoever the new board is elected, they can choose. I think that's within the power of how they want to proceed. But I think this is a good recommendation. If you understand what I'm saying.
Agree, I think that
Well, if it's not in the bylaws stating that it's whoever gets the whatever vote amount, that's not in the bylaws, you know, it's,
You're talking about the stipulation.
Yes.
Determined, I
yes.
see.
That is correct.
So if, what I'm saying is, if we just vote in that stipulation, it doesn't stop the next board from changing it. Is what I'm saying.
I personally feel
But
like that.
it's, so I think it's a recommendation, which I think we can vote on and proceed with, but that's just. Honestly, that's the best we can do is make a recommendation and tell the residents.
I was gonna say, inform your residents.
I think the residents
But
should be informed.
I totally agree with John, it cannot be a 3 and 2, it has to be a 2 and 1.
Yeah, I think we should follow
Figures
the
is a
bylaws.
Well, it's
Actually,
actually not the bylaws. It's outside of the bylaws except.
Yeah.
that-
Can I chime in from afar?
Absolutely.
Sorry to interrupt, John. I think I agree with John and Mark that in this situation, but I do think we need to have a policy to guide this next election. And that's all this is saying to get back on track for this election, this is the policy that the board is doing to get back on track. And then after this, the bylaws will hold effect because we will have staggered boards, 4 and 3 for every 2 years. So, but I do think there's a policy decision that the board should make to say, what are we going to do? And I agree with Kathy too, that it has to be 2-year terms and they staggered. And the only way to get that, the only way to not break the 2-year by making another 3-year is we go 2 to 1. And I think that's actually from what I read through the lawyer's comments, that's his recommendation too. So based on the lawyer's recommendation, based on what we need to do, this is the best way to get there. That's just my 2 Italian cents.
So I think we're all in favor of the 2-year, 1 year.
Mhm.
Yes.
Now, how do we establish who gets 2 years and how do we establish who gets 1 year?
Typically by votes.
The 3 top votes. The 3 top vote recipients
I'm sorry.
should have done.
You wanna read that one?
So what my understanding is that it's based on the number of votes.
Yes, that's.
By the community, which I think does sound like the most fairest way to do without making the board then vote and debate it.
That is a way. It doesn't
Yeah,
say.
we gotta
in the
follow.
bylaws.
It does not say,
Doesn't say.
I'm saying,
That's
but
common practice.
But
I think we can make a recommendation.
I like to stick with common practice.
Yeah.
and he's citing it here too.
The only other option I would say would be the officers of the board stay for 2 years and then.
But the officers are determined after election.
Right.
Right, so that makes it
Well,
difficult.
And they can
That's
change
true.
every year.
Okay.
And you could change call for a change of the officers on the other
Actually,
days.
Well, I'm on board with the number of votes. I'm good with that.
So do we have a motion to sign?
Well, that's.
Well, I
the
don't
board
think
to
we need to
determine
make a
that.
resolution though. I think we just, if we explain,
But
as I think we have in the board, on the ballots.
One on the ballot for the statement at the bottom, that was the recommendation of the election committee that we saw about yesterday.
Okay, we just say the highest vote getters will be for 2-year terms and the lowest will be for 1-year terms. And then after that, every 2 years. And we're just gonna be.
You know,
Yeah.
in a way, I agree with you, John, because policies are meant to be standing policy. This is gonna be a one-time event. We're just doing it once,
Back in.
right? We're not gonna.
The policy is
Yeah.
already in, there, so we're not changing the policy.
No, that's right, we're co-educating policies.
Right.
It may not be necessary, we just have to make a resolution for ourselves as a board, that that's what we're going to do, and make sure it's implemented this time as opposed to last time.
And make
I mean-
it clear to the people
Okay.
that are running what's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna reiterate this point, and I think the final decision for this will be up to the board. The next board. I know you're shaking, but I believe that it will, whatever we say, they can say it, but they have that right to. Once they're elected, to establish.
So, and
If
I
it's not-
disagree because we ran into this at the end of the first year.
Yeah, but they have to
Our
establish it.
board, you know, if you remember, but our board, we were gonna stagger. And then we're asking 3 people to just rotate off and run for office again,
Mhm.
and nobody wanted to do that. The whole board says I was elected to 2 years, so otherwise we would have fixed it already.
Right.
So going into it, the exiting board is the best place,
Mhm.
because none of us, even though some of us are running for reelection, none of us are elected yet. And if we say at the outset, this is what the deal is.
We
then
have to establish that it has to be staggered.
Right.
I agree with John.
Concur, John. It definitely has to be set up going in, and then after that, it's just the standard bylaws.
Right. All right, so can we motion to accept this policy resolution, knowing that it's a one-time thing?
Well, the
The
motion is,
policy record,
You don't think so?
what we need to do is guide the election committee to add what they want to do at the end of the ballot.
So election rules then.
Yes.
On the ballot at the bottom, there's a couple things that state, and we plan on stating this term exactly, pretty much the same way it's worded at the bottom, so everyone knows that they are a staggered term, basically. She's regurgitated what's in the bylaws, we were gonna regurgitate what's in the bylaws, so that
When people get mailings, they only read a certain amount, they're not gonna, but no offense to you, and I agree, I wanna know the ballot, we'll talk about that today. It's, the policy resolution is for, to remind everybody, hey, you know what, the board is in place, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna move forward. It's just a piece of paper in a book, in the resolution.
I think
And do you want, but John, if we vote on this, we will have this documented in our meeting that we have passed this resolution, and we will have this as a go forward reference.
So in the meeting, in this meeting, the minutes of this meeting, I would think that we would talk about the possibility of it being a resolution that the board, I would make a motion that we consider not making a policy resolution, but rather restating in the ballot as to what it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to be. So,
well, this motion is this currently been made and seconded, so we have to vote on this one before we make.
Which motion?
The motion for to accept the policy resolution standard
Yes.
terms as read by Mark was made by Mark and seconded by me, and then we went into discussion.
Hold us to the Robert's rules there.
Yes,
I love it.
we have to vote on this because the motion is up at the table, whether it's nay or for and against, it has to be resolved.
I'm sorry. Can you read what his motion was again? I apologize.
I'm not gonna read the policy, but the motion was to, what they say, approve the policy resolution of staggered terms. Now, I don't remember, do we have to reread the policy?
No,
we don't. Okay, which was put forward by Mark, seconded by me. That's what it's.
Okay,
So that is,
so essentially your motion was to approve this as is.
I stated the motion, so we can talk about it. So we can vote on it, and then we can say no, and then we can rewrite it, or we can say yes, and then it passes.
So
So
if we
let's,
want to rewrite it, we would have to. You have to say oppose and you have to
so,
redo the motion.
actually, in this case, because it's a whole resolution, we have to do that. We have to vote on it, and if everybody votes no, or enough of
Well-
numbers, then we can go with another motion.
Yes, correct.
There
That's,
are places that if it was just a change to what was already done.
I mean, if people,
This is
if
too great.
if we want to state the motion as edited.
no, to me, it gets the job done, right? And I'm about this resolution, putting it on the ballot, we can do both. Let's get the job done, and let's move on with life.
Okay, well, the
So
motion
I'll
stands.
leave my motion stand. All in favor, say aye. I say aye.
Aye.
In favor,
Hi.
aye.
I'm not in favor.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I missed that last part. Before I vote. So are we voting to accept it the way it is, or are voting to accept it in principle, but we can edit it after we agree that this is what we want to do?
No,
I'm confused.
to accept it as it is.
Currently 1, 2, 3, 4. In favor. of
Well,
them.
I'm gonna have to vote no, because there's 2 letters I think that need to go in it to meet John's requirement. That's
Okay,
why I'm gonna say no.
okay.
Right.
Well, motions that have to pass, but if we would like, anyone wants to make another motion?
What are we making a motion for now?
Well, I'm just saying that if you want any further.
We have
motion,
accepted the policy resolution 4-2.
Correct.
We can also, the election committee does not need a motion to put a note on the bottom of the ballot. They can write on there, rules on there.
Just correct, that's all, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you sign one? Everybody, everybody.
So I want to say something about the signatures,
Mhm.
I am not the treasurer.
Oh.
My name is down there as treasurer.
Sorry, I would take that off.
Yeah, that is a type of living that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll need to. Hmm?
Well,
We'll sign.
Somewhere there.
Sign at the end of the meeting.
So,
Well, thank
so
you.
can I chime in one more time, please? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So I concur. The only thing I was to sort of address what John was saying is on that last paragraph. Now therefore be it resolved that the board of director hereby adopts. I think we should say re-adopts. Okay, because what we're saying is we're out of compliance. The board is out of compliance, not because of anything on this board or it's just saying we have to do this to get back in good graces. So we're not adopting staggered terms. We're reaffirming them, readopting them. That's the only change I see. Right?
Yeah.
And does that make sense?
Well, okay, if everyone's in agreement to edit the thing with the proposed change,
What is the proposed change?
it's the last sentence to read.
I think it's the next.
It says,
paragraph,
Next to last paragraph,
Members to readopt a resolution.
re-adopt.
I had to reword it. Be resolved, the board of directors hereby adopts this resolution to reestablish.
there you go. Bingo. I think that addresses John's, comments that, we're not establishing a new policy. We're just getting back to the policy we're supposed to be doing. And so we just need to be clear. That's what we're doing. Right. And then to do that, this is what we have decided as our way forward. Right.
Can we get all, everyone in agreement to the things? That's
We're making one change to this page right here. In a different font, but, okay, so. Motion. To adjust the last paragraph to say, therefore be it resolved that the board of directors hereby adopts. This resolution. To reestablish. Board of Directors staggered terms.
But Mac wants to that we hereby readopt, not adopt.
I think he,
He's shaking.
No, I'm okay with reestablish. This is just, we're reestablishing the procedure. Just
We're adopting this resolution.
but we're reestablishing.
Reestablish staggered terms.
right. Yeah, I'm words. I don't want to wordsmith. It's just that's what I think reestablish is better than readopt.
The
That was your word.
to
There's a
include,
resolution to reestablish board of directors.
I really believe that, to do this is going to highlight that we have made a mistake the last 2 years and cause a problem.
We've already done it. That's. Sometimes that happens.
okay,
When you own your mistakes, yes, people will find out about them,
I will second the
but we
motion.
have to fix it.
Well, it's not facing, it's just making the resolution, otherwise.
The good thing about this is that if the board ever goes out of stagger in the future for some reason. Whatever could happen. They will have this historical document to look back on and be like, how did they fix this in the past?
It's in the bylaws.
Like, oh, we can,
It always exists.
yeah, well,
That's what I'm saying, it's already in the bylaws.
it's not, there is
The
nothing,
staggered-
there's nothing in the bylaws. For a board to reestablish staggered terms if they've come out of stagger, only from the founder. To the original board. That's the only thing in the bylaws.
Right. But what I'm saying is that
Nice choice of
beyond
color.
the fact, huh?
Nice choice of color. by the way.
Beyond that, it's supposed to be delegates that are making the election anyway, so we're way out of
Yeah,
bounds on that. So
That's,
I
yes.
just don't want to create a lot of,
Mhm.
I mean, we're not doing anything wrong. We're just doing something to make us feel good. But I think in the scheme of things, we may be creating a ball of wax to deal with that's not necessary. So
Well-
this says that you have to mark whether you agree or not.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You may mark that.
that.
Well, the motion is the table, whenever you're ready to call for a vote.
What's that?
For those that.
For the motion to update the warning for the policy to include the term reestablish the staggered terms made by, this was made by Bart. And
It's my
that-
motion.
Yes,
Second.
and so I seconded.
Thank you.
So,
All in favor of the new wording?
Aye.
Mac?
I'll give it back.
Mac's in favor.
Aye.
It's his wording.
Yeah, that's right. All right, none
Yeah, but-
opposed, motion carries. On
Right,
to
but-
proposals.
All right.
Sunrise landscaping, removal of mulch at the pool.
So, Tom, do you wanna talk about these?
We've had Tom here for now. I'm sorry, Tom.
This is just the approval for the removal of the already approved
So-
plantings.
$10,010 to remove all old mulch from mulch beds, remove and dispose. And prep for new shredded mulch install.
That's in addition to 10,650 for install, right?
Is this,
Removal.
that's all. Is this new stuff that we've already approved or what?
This one we didn't approve because we,
So all the other notes that you guys have approved, we've also approved the removal, switching from one type of mulch to another. So the idea of the treadmill, it binds together, it stays in place, we can use a pacifier on it. But putting that on top of mulch that moves and water runs, just. Can it be done? Has it been done? Yes, it is recommended, no. So.
What's the cost?
$10,010.
So where are we?
There's money, that's money that we should want, that's like a surplus, but, yeah. No problem.
We have funding?
Motion to approve the $10,010 to remove all the old mulch from the pool in preparation for new mulch install.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed, motion carries.
Sign up for me.
We're-
Thank you. Keep them in.
Next item. TS construction proposals, okay.
These are a
Well-
few things that need to be done.
Well, may I suggest that since Tom, we have got Tom here, can we do his stuff? I know that
Okay.
you've got some other, say, sunrise. And let.
It looks like the next sunrise landscaping is prepared villas. For those, I'm sorry.
The Sagewood,
Sagewood, yeah, Sagewood has quite a few. For those following on, that starts on page 30 of the board packet. The first one,
Can we bundle them and vote them in mass?
well,
let's just do one by one. I'll push through it, Mac. Well, motion will second.
I got an early show time tomorrow, but all right.
All right, let's press then. All right. The first, Sagewood, motion to provide pricing, let's see, provide pricing to make needed side repairs as requested. So
Yes, this is the one I asked everybody if they could take a look at it. They have a fungus in their property and there's a huge tree that is just everything we tried, nothing's working.
Mhm.
So this is to actually install
this is on, where is this?
all the way down at the.
Tom?
Here, that is the guy all the way again.
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I can quote the
Sagewood.
quote number, but it's his yard been in pretty rough shape since I took over.
Yeah.
And I think before that as well, so. It's a price to remove, the existing section of the lawn and then install it for hill. St. Augustine is a better shade tolerant. Grass, that would do, everybody thinks will do better in that area than what we have.
And what's the proper address on this? Is it 13056 or 13506?
Cause on the proposal, it says 13056.
I'm gonna guess the proposals.
Nope, it's not. You might-
Okay.
13506,
What is it?
13506.
13506. So the agenda is correct.
Posted.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a statement that I'll probably go further along in this. Our current status for Sagewood, at this point, we're gonna finish with a negative 8,226.13 with the other things that we added last time. So there is no money left in this year's budget to spend on this.
How is that possible? Because I was looking at that.
And we just got updated for 6 months because we spent money and I think obligations already in there for 41,000, 35,000 for the irrigation panels that have not come out yet.
Is this, Tom, is this something that can wait until after the first of the year?
I mean, this wasn't something that I identified as being in the work order request, so I'm just proposing, and this is an issue that's ongoing, you know, we talked about this before, but I'm just simply providing the proposal that we requested.
When would the sod be laid, you know?
I mean, as soon as you get an approval, as soon as you get an approval, usually within a week or two, he has to go out and mark the areas, they spray it with a weed, a Roundup type product, they fill it, they come in, sod it out and do it, so I would say probably 2 weeks total, because we generally spray like the weed to die out before they sod it. So within 2 weeks.
I mean, cause we're going obviously into our cooler time period, so it's not like if we waited until after the first of the year and got some more, because like Sean said, Sagewood is going to end the fiscal year in a deficit.
It'll probably become closer to zero, but we're obligated to things that haven't been billed to us yet for $78,000 for the repairs for irrigation and some planting and so forth, not paid for yet. If you can see at the end of the quarter here, we've got $31,000 left, and I've got to use the rest of our surplus to cover that out. That's not gonna happen.
And there's another one here that's for 22, so.
So with the cooler weather to stop this fungus from growing?
No, it makes it worse, unfortunately.
I think the idea is that establishing new grass when it's not, the heat index is not 170 days is in the best interest. Are we even close to getting back to those temperatures? So I think there's certainly some time with the proper irrigation and care, especially in the shady area like that, we can do it pretty much any time. I mean, as you guys know, we repair something, we replace sod for construction, also the purposes directly. So again, I have the skin in this game. I was asked to provide a local, I will provide this.
No worries.
No, we appreciate that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, like I said, I think we can do it now, we can do it a little later, whatever you're going to solve.
So the irrigation stuff we approved, is that what possible to that on?
We've already started with, we're obligated to sign the proposals that we're working on it right now, so,
What do they have a contingency?
it's not the contingency, the bottom line, it's even with the contingency not spent, you're still going to have about $8,000 remaining before it's over. Now, mind you, there's a couple things that could vary that a little bit, so I'm expecting it to be close to zero when we finish, but I don't think we're gonna have another $10,000 plus, that's $18,000 out there.
Yeah, so you're looking, I mean, right now you're looking at another $9,000 that you're in sod right now, that you want to add to this, that is not budgeted for.
The proposals right now about 10 grand.
Yeah, so I would,
That's why I said about 10 grand for the
So-
$18,000 delta is fine, I think.
Motion to table the Sunrise landscaping proposals until next month for rediscussion. When we have a better view on the financials at the end of the year. Second, all in favor? Any opposed?
None here.
All right, motion carries. We'll talk about it next month. Paired Villas. 5601 Kingsley Corner Way.
Paired Villas, how is there?
Pet Village right now is doing fine with the 60 out of it, they've got about $47,000, so they're okay, it's not gonna spend $47,000.
All right,
This is also part of the fungus that needs to be taken care of. It's coming throughout the community.
So this fungus, is this something that is treatable with the grass? You know, like grass monkeys or whatever these.
I had True Green's been out there. First we had Sunrise, then I had Ballinger and then True Green. And True Green's, after they did their testing, they said it's a fungus that just spreads almost overnight.
And it's not treatable.
And water at night, when it gets cold, or water too much during a cold drop, it does make the fungus grow faster and it can kill the grass and plant the, just.
It actually looks like cinch bugs, but quicker.
The infamous cinch bugs.
Yes.
There are plants that saw that are more resistant.
Resistant to it, yeah.
This, again, when properties are built, they use Florida sod, which is St. Augustine sod, it's like a billiard rate, it's like going with individual life, and try to get you a good product, and that's why we're trying to achieve this, to a better treatment of grass, and so.
We'll agree with that.
So. Is there funding?
There is.
Motion to spend $1,068.93 on side repairs at 5601 Kingsley Corner Way.
Seconded.
Okay, I'm sorry. Kingsley. What's that amount again?
Aye.
Aye, aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. 5601 Kingsley Way gets new sign.
Very nice.
And no.
What's the price on it?
Can I grab the quote real quick?
$1,068.93. Sandpiper Crest has 1, 2, 3 different landscaping proposals. How's Sandpiper Crest looking, Treasurer?
Perfect.
They're good?
Yeah.
$9,000, Joe? I mean, how much, but their landscaping how much is their budget for landscaping? That's an awful lot for what's for one person's yard.
I agree. I mean, the budget for landscape repairs, according to, you've exceeded it, and we have in both of those areas because of these kind of problems, but yes. And we're hoping to try to rectify this, and again, but yeah.
But
Is this a
Sam-
backyard or front yard that we're doing this work on?
It's a side with the.
It's a side.
Mhm. And it's
So
sandpiper.
14076 is an end unit.
Mhm.
And they have a side yard with a large
And
sodded area in the middle.
And everything in Sandpiper, we're responsible for.
Mhm.
So it's even more so.
But at Sandpiper Crest is one that we're not doing putting the timers on the irrigation.
That is correct. We've got some, actually, we have that as improvements for replacing some of the irrigation timers, the exterior ones, because all of those are the main units out there. They don't have individual ones and, frames like they do in other areas.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm
I just say, this is a tremendous amount of money for portion for what is budgeted for Sandpiper Crest for one person's yard. I don't know, if I was living over there, I wouldn't be too happy.
If you look at the satellite view, it's kind of 2 people's yard in a common area,
Is it?
because it's like in between 2
Yeah,
townhouses.
the doors face each other kind of thing, and there's a space left to walk to the doors, and then there's, go to the other side, the 2 that are next to that, and so forth. And we.
I'm sorry.
A whole lot going on.
Do we have a motion? for
Not yet.
Yeah.
Feel free to make one, John.
Okay, what's the quote again? Can I see the amount again?
Yeah, 9,116.25.
And that's for 14076 Kaitan. Okay.
This will be charged to, repairs.
Yeah, that's for the repairs.
So that's PV in there.
You want to make a motion since you got the numbers?
I don't have the number. Can I?
Motion, listen,
Yes.
hold on.
If you-
Motion to spend $9,116.25 to repair sod at 14076 Kite Lane. Is there a second?
Second.
Second? How do we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did you vote?
I don't know.
You didn't vote?
I don't know.
John, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what, where we at?
Do you abstain?
You can abstain. Or you can.
I vote nay.
Vote nay. Okay.
Okay, so what were we at? 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4.
5 yeses.
Well,
one no.
5, yes.
5, okay.
Motion carries.
Sir,
Would this mean we need to make the change to the budget?
Of course, all these things are making a change every morning.
Next year.
Yeah, put that there on.
I said, let's fly one of our proposals in before we put the budget so that we wouldn't see anything afterwards, but we're
Can I
doing
see
it.
that one?
I guess
This one here?
I wanna make sure.
it does alter the budget slightly. At this point, I don't see that it's affected approving the dues amount, but it does affect the carryover and.
Got two different numbers here on the next
I
one.
round up and that's kind of buffering.
So we've got in the board packet 14054 kite lane. I don't see that. That's a different number here, so I just want to verify the number before we go. The agenda says 14076. Saw repair says 14054.
Gonna be 5-4.
There are two.
And then there's 56.
Right.
14076. 14054 and 56. Is it 54 or 56?
5-6. 5, like I said,
That's 5-6, this is.
it's 5-4.
Then we got the additional
No.
ones today.
So this is 76.
This is 7-6, this is 5-4.
What's this one here? This is something else entirely.
Where is it? 57, 30, 30, sky top.
So
Yeah.
on the agenda, it says 5-6
That's what I'm getting.
instead of 5-4. So that's what the error does, okay.
So is it 14054, 14056?
5-4.
54, okay, which I was correct. All right,
5-4.
motion is to spend $590.02 on sod repairs at 14054 Kite Lane. Someone
Seconded.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any no opposed?
And where is this located, Todd? Is this road, I mean, this is a much smaller area.
Yeah, so what I did is I had Sean control this stuff and all. Patty and I watched several again and all were bidding on the charger. The worst areas in the park that are not like the roof cover, so there's spot, like I said, even one at Savior, it wasn't one giant area, it was several large areas combined, so it's throughout the property, any spot that need not like that. That's
All right, that is it for landscaping.
Nope.
No,
No?
57, 33.
Oh, my bad.
So just the-
Tree replacement, I don't see that in the packet.
That is, they came out today.
Okay,
He sent me today.
How much is that?
But this is the last of the sunrise, yes?
No, we have 2 more on Sunrise. Tom sent this today.
Oh, can I see
Yeah.
this, the
Yeah,
last one we just
okay.
approved?
So, the
have
this
this one.
is over at Circus Crossing, so we're gonna hold on that. And we have a tree replacement.
1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I just need
and Sandpiper Crest. 5733 Sky Top.
And what happened to that tree? Why does it need to be replaced?
We don't know. I'll send that around to everybody. That's the truth.
where the owner was going to pull and place themselves.
Right,
What they did is they cut it off, so the roof all needs to be pulled,
Mhm.
obviously
Exactly.
irrigation reset and then do, it's got, it's very, they're the little ones in between the driveways, that go kind of parallel areas. There's one missing, so I don't have a picture of the tree before, but it, as it's now, in fact, it would be seen.
So he cut it down.
He could, yeah,
no, it died, and then he took it back. So it was a dead tree before he took it out, and then they came in and asked if they could.
we have to put a tree back. What's the quote for? 5,500. $559
$559. Cents.
and 50 cents.
50 cents.
I'm sorry, it's called, or actually, what I actually-
So the motion, we're talking about a motion.
Okay, motion to replace the tree at 5733 Skytop for $559.50. Is there a second?
Second,
Second. Sean, is there money?
Yes.
There's money. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any opposed? Secretary. No,
So that's
is there any more landscaping?
About 550, okay.
that the last one?
Yes.
Come on and play.
Six. No,
It's with you.
0.
So we had TS.
Pass.
Ballinger.
Okay.
No more summer.
Thank you,
Right.
we appreciate it.
Table.
So, can you give me the PV amount again? I want to make sure it's in my spreadsheet that I have for the budget statement.
Take care.
Thanks, John.
All right, we're going back to the master,
which one?
to TS Anthony Construction Proposals.
Okay.
The first one is a combined quote for dumpster area gates, power wash, 2 each dumpster gates, paint 2 dumpster gates, tape off all hardware, paint, labor included, and then the materials, $500
$500.
for the master.
Okay, so the motion would be to approve $500 for 171 dumpster cleanup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they gonna take all the extra trash that everybody's
Well,
in there
second.
out of there too, or no?
Yeah. He's gonna clean it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like pallets and stop signs and all kinds of, anything that anybody wants to dump in there, we'll dump in.
Mhm.
Camera, you put a camera.
Okay.
All right, motion to approve
That's why
$500,
it needs a lot.
It does need a lot, you're right.
but then the trash man would have to have the key.
Oh, yeah.
Usually comes in.
Anyways, that's a separate topic altogether.
Yeah,
Motion to approve $500 to clean up the dumpster area. Second,
Okay, well,
all in
do
favor?
we have fun? Okay.
Aye, and it could be a keypad lock.
All right,
Yeah,
I will work on that for next month, Mac, okay?
Okay,
all right.
the motion, so next one would be for the parking lot line painting. How much is this?
575.
575?
That's the one we just passed.
Okay, cool.
All right, next one's $575 to paint the parking lot lines. Labor and materials are included in that, $575. Second,
I will second that.
second, all in favor?
aye.
Passes.
Okay.
The next one is,
One of the lines that we paid $3,000 for that are sitting in the,
what is this?
these are the signs.
Oh, the signs, yeah, we gotta get those signs up.
Yes.
75.
what signs?
These are the signs that we paid a whole bunch of money for the dog park and the pool and everything like that, and they're still sitting in the shed. So $1,125 to install the signs that we bought. This includes 4x4x8 posts, pressure treated, all the concrete. And all the labor. How many signs is this?
6,
5.
5 signs each, yeah, you're right.
It says 5 signs.
Because we hung one of them.
Treasurer, we good? We have the money still?
Yeah.
All right, treasurer says we're good. Anybody second the motion?
Seconded,
Okay,
Second, all in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Three, sign, and sign.
Now, the next one is the invoice, the $395, while the $3,000.
I see that. No.
So this is more a motion to pay because our work is already
The
done.
work is already done, while he was doing it.
Yeah, and it needed to be done. So motion to pay $395.
Seconded,
I'll fix it. Seconded,
But I thought that we replaced the toilets.
We did, but then he took them off. This is underneath the toilet.
Putting this in the concrete was broken, he couldn't move it. And it's- it's not
And
unusual.
that's $395.
Well, the piece is about $20, but yeah,
It is a plumber.
it's a plumb.
Holy.
It's a CPA. I'm sorry, the plumb.
Motion.
What electrician?
I mean. And how much is this? $395. $395.
I would state that for what argument something like that, it has to be done, if she has the time, and we actually just approve that and just get paid, because it doesn't make any sense for.
He just did it.
We had to get fixed.
Yeah,
Well,
all right, did we vote in favor of that one? We did not. Okay, motion to pay the plumber for the flange,
yeah, second.
second,
Which is not intentional.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any
Of
opposed?
course.
All right,
We've got some very expensive places to drop stuff, just so you guys know.
I do have one.
all right, on to,
Wait, two more things.
a few more things, what you got?
Ballinger, it's Sagewood, I need another $1,000 for the, erasing the pop-ups, and they went through the first 1,000.
I mean, we've already approved that, it's an extension, we don't have to eat it.
This is part of something we've already done.
What's the
The second.
pop-ups?
Then over at Sagewood,
Sagewood,
I thought that they had given us a quote on how much that was going to cost.
well, they weren't sure because it's house by house, how many they had.
They didn't count the
So
heads,
it was the first 1,000.
They did not,
I guess so.
so they underestimated, now they're coming back for more money.
The, no, the agreement was they would spend it to 1,000 and then come back to us, so it's just coming back to us.
so this is for an additional $1,000?
Yes.
So that's
So
gonna
motion.
put Sagewood
Yeah.
deeper.
Like I said, some of it's estimated, still want, I just don't want to push it to like a $10,000 budget to throw that far over. I think it's gonna zero out. And then, but I think things are inflated to that.
We'll look at it next month, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're supposed to be approving a budget, and this all this affects the budget, obviously, to carry over to the next year and so forth. So, when there's a big windfall, it affects the dues going up, obviously.
All right, motion to approve not to exceed $1,000 for Ballinger to complete the work they've already started.
Voucher not to exceed,
It's so-
made by Mark,
Second.
seconded by.
All in
Kathy.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Not opposed.
0, motion passed.
Next, what else we got planned?
The playground,
Playground.
play nature.
Okay, so that's gonna probably be a little bit of a topic here. I'm gonna give us some feedback first. We had budgeted, the only two things that we have not obligated ourselves in the scheme of things, there are 3 items that are still open that we have not approved. Government, which is really very great, the irrigation system, which is for the Wi-Fi and so forth. There are 2 others. This one we originally talked about line replacement at the pool, which I think has been tabled at this point. Not finding a good vendor, maybe not, and then playground replacement. The number we had for playground replacement came from the reserve, 35,770.13. The reserve estimated what it would cost to replace it. That's what that is.
I'm sorry, did you say that at 33,000?
770.13. So that's what our research study says, that he thinks value of that is to replace at the moment. Then we had $21,229 and 87 cents to do the blind replacement. Those are, again, our numbers that came off the reserve study. We don't have an estimate or anything of that nature. So I use those as a basis to put in the budget. Both of those things are still unobligated at this point. So if they come out of the budget, it gets more of a surplus. If we spend it someplace else, it takes it to where it is. So that's why we're talking about, if you take the 21, the amount of this is what?
And it's 49,058.
Okay, so let's just call it $50,000. Between these two, we have $56,000 to spend. Just one of them will get done, not the other. So no blinds, I mean, shutters for the pool house, but a new playground, which is probably not a bad thing considering the condition of it.
And this is the only company that you were able to get a
I've had
proposal,
3 people come out. This is the only one that is able to.
provide you a proposal.
You sent pictures too, which is the standard kind of stuff that will last. It's almost identical to the one that the CDD put in the playground before.
Ours is bigger though.
I understand, but I mean, as far as the quality, talking about quality and
Yeah.
type of.
No,
Are you just basically saying that we should, is there reconsideration for the shutter replacement if we want to proceed with the other? Is that what you're basically?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, now I have to ask a question. You said the 35,770 is part of the service.
And it's not part of the reserves, it's part of the reserve study. I don't think the value is in the reserves. It's not coming from the reserves, it's not funded yet.
Well, that's it, he's
It's
talking
coming
about
from
the.
budget, we're just gonna be.
Yeah.
Funding it for the next time.
Right, I didn't have to look at those.
So this is the basically a replacement for.
The wooden structure out here.
Should say it's valued at, is that probably a better way to say that?
And what was what was this cost? Did we have the number for this?
Total is $49,058.48.
That's to remove what's there.
That's two parts, and then we'll make a deposit and then it's.
Playground's expensive, man.
The deposit is 24,000.
It's a
That's way better. I got a quote.
So it's
I got a quote
actually-
for something very, very similar during COVID, and it was 120,000
50.
Sure, it's your mother not there, Miss.
Well,
for another playground.
if I'm gonna, I know this is probably my bias, but I would put this higher priority for the community than the shutters.
3 days.
But if, that's just my input.
I can't find it. What is that?
So have we had, do we know what the weight tolerance is of these? Weight columns?
Yeah, we're not.
No, I know the
Put in
age,
playground.
between 2 and 12 years old.
Yeah, but we have 16-year-olds that climb all over this thing, break it immediately. It's all-
So
It's
what is
commercial
the age?
quality, 2 to 12.
2 to 12? I mean, that's the standard is,
Well.
the material is.
Lit. And that's.
I know,
the-
I'm gonna climb in it and swing down it, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no. The reason you have the 16-year-olds out there is because it's
It's
not
so dark.
lit, and that's why they like to get it.
And I
So,
think.
Yeah, and
what
Luther's been
there
kicking
is
him out.
kind of- There's more.
When I read the security reports
concealed
every morning,
areas With what you.
every
have
night he
there
goes there and kicks him out.
Well, this is a metal structure,
So
vinyl
it's
coated
gotten a lot
metal,
better.
for the most part, with some vinyl paneling, and it's gonna hold up in the weather. I like the quality of this set, just looking at, she's in over this, so
I mean, it looks like a good.
it'll hold up a while.
Yeah.
What's it,
It's a
do we know what its useful life is?
And it's an upgrade,
I'm sorry?
it's a major upgrade.
Oh, it's a major upgrade, sure. But its useful life has gotta make that the reserve would have to be less next year, or when it's adjusted, it'd be less because it has a longer lifetime.
Everybody have a chance to review it?
If you would like to. do that.
So part of this comes out of the reserve.
It does not, it's not funded. All I'm using is the value that the reserve study gave me for it. We just started funding it this year. There's literally hardly no money in it. I can check to see exactly if you'd like, but there's only a few $1,000 over it. So we use part of that if you want. Whatever we have funded, I can use. That's pretty cool.
All right,
I mean, it looks very nice. I certainly wish though that we had more than one proposal.
Me too.
Could you, just for my curiosity, ask them if they have, if they could identify the weak spots and see if we can move forward? Because we paid so much for all these plastic things that we bought. You know, they could just get ruined in a matter of seconds. Oh,
I mean,
tell you,
they- and what,
They could add another pole or
As-
something somewhere to get it going.
yeah, as Sean asked, what is the life expectancy of,
I mean, it's,
it doesn't, yeah, I looked briefly at their proposal and it doesn't say.
Let's say the brand.
Planation
Oh.
Play Systems at the end.
the company.
Okay, yeah, if there's not the brand, I'm just gonna do it, just see what it said, what it's something is.
And it has a commercial player, but that was my biggest concern.
It looks nice.
Well, I mean, we could put a motion with a thing saying that. That it is. What is there any, what
is-
would be the warranty on?
What are they putting on the ground underneath it?
Nothing.
No, it's just gonna be just like it is now?
It would be.
I'm okay with that.
Steel concrete, footing, so it's not.
Yeah. Okay. We've discussed. Motion to approve the Play Nation quote for not to exceed $50,000.
Not to exceed?
So you wanna move forward without having any other proposals?
She has tried to get multiple proposals and nobody's come out.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
I
49.
can tell you from last time I tried to get a playground quota like this for our community,
Mhm.
very similar playground, she's getting a pretty steep discount on these. It was $120,000. Very similar playground, and that's why. So you know what, not this year and not next year.
Okay, so motion, I'll second the motion, not to exceed, oh, I'm sorry, say that number again?
Not to exceed 50,000, because of course like 49.9 or something like that, right?
50,
58.
Mhm.
Netherlands, yeah. We're gonna say 15.
okay, second,
Sean says we have the money, and we don't want to pay taxes on it taken in the next year.
So I was just looking up briefly, it's similar playground, I don't know if it's the same brand, but this particular one, the metal version of it says stainless steel hardware, steel posts, and direct connections and aluminum post caps are warranted for life.
Mhm.
But the plastic and the wood, and if it's plastic and wood, it's 15 years.
well, that's pretty
It
standard.
doesn't fund it again.
I won't be there, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not sitting here, I won't be sitting. here.
So that's the motion, we can vote, we can say yea or nay. All in favor?
Yes,
Alright.
Aye.
Mac?
Nah,
Mac fell asleep.
Aye. He said aye.
He's in Italy. What time is it there, Mac? Like 2 a.m.?
And it's gotta be later.
all right,
1340 hours. I mean, 0140 hours.
0140.
So it's not quite two, it's 142.
Okay.
Makes me double.
No, we sign it, never good.
That- All right. What else? What do you want to do next?
These are done, it's all done. Let's do accounting firms.
accounting,
The accounting firm. So last month we voted to hire No Hassle. If there was no other quotes brought forward. I believe we have one this month.
okay,
We have 4, actually, but the one we're recommending is I think there's a leader in the group.
Okay.
We interviewed, the 3 of us interviewed on a Zoom meeting in one company. And a second company that came in, actually flew in Tuesday to meet with us here, from San Diego. So, the first one is called, Proper AI Accounting. They are a bookkeeping firm that is a highly recommended vendor for AppFolio, but it's not a CPA firm. The second is Balanced Assets. It's a CPA firm that does most of the accounting for property management in HOAs. About 70 HOAs, including 50% of what they're doing and more is AppFolio.
Did you give us the recommendation?
We didn't get the referrals. I talked to him today. He's going to give me some real recommendations. We asked for referrals for both companies. The one said it's hard to get one that kind of mixes us and then sent us an email and kind of pushed it off a little bit. The Showman said, absolutely, just want to contact them both, but he's only had 2 days to do so. So I give him a little latitude, but in any event, they sent us the proposals. The first of them, let me make sure I've got my numbers in front of me here. I can read some, there we go. So we also did an interview, but I spoke with another company called OJO Bookkeeping, which does an hourly base between 38 or 28 straight flat fees with an estimate of 30 hours a month. So they would be in the $2,200 mark if you went to the high side and about $1,600 on the low side. Kind of wean them out because basically it seemed like I'd be getting into a similar situation that we were before, which I prefer not to, but they are actually now approved vendors. Balanced and Proper are both actually partners. In other words, they have a huge amount of say in what's going on. When asked if they could help us with real-time calls, Proper said that they have real-time chat. They respond by email within 24 hours, but usually lesser than that. There's an emergency, there's someone to call. Balanced, of course, you got a dedicated person you can pick up. So the difference in pricing between these 2 companies I'm referring to is Proper was $4,023.50, which is based on $3.25 per unit,
I'm sorry, 4,000.
$23.50. balance came in initially at $6,500, and I told them I got quotes that are lower than that, and they came down to $4,000 flat fee. Which includes up to $25 in normal labor, and then they also can extend different things. They do, both of these have an onboarding, as the onboarding cost for proper is 2 months without actually going live. So you pay their 2 months and then move forward, and you start paying monthly the same price as you did before. Balance is $8,800 on the onboarding, but if they go through the books and they find nothing that needs to be corrected, or it looks like it's an order for them, they apply it to the next 2 months when we go live. So that means in most cases, because we're going through this audit right now, I deal with the time it's when the audit's finished, they take over and it's clean, then we would have a credit of $8,800 for the first 2 months of the work with them. I budgeted $52,000 for any accounting firm, so that's what's in our budget at the moment. My recommendation, and you can listen to Patty and John's, I still like that, the concept of no hassle. One issue about on-site visits is that we kind of eliminated that problem by just basically, first of all, we've gone way down on the checks, but more importantly is that we can do a check scanner that would cost us a nominal amount of money, just deposit the 100 checks we do each month without going to the bank or having to do anything fancy. Everything else is done by these firms. They're post the invoices, post the checks with the accounts, everything gets done by them and sends back the same packet or a similar packet that they might modify that I've been sending to you from that folder. Everything would be done directly in that folder, not third-party software or another thing at all. So my recommendation is go with balance. For that reason, also because they are an approved vendor that it can facilitate change in the software that doesn't work the way we expect it to, or what they need to do, they can actually make changes. Feedback from the other 2 members of the interview would be great.
I agree with what you said. I was impressed with the fellow that was out here. They seem to be actually their relationship with Appfolio is growing.
Yes.
They had just come back from I guess it was a company meeting, I guess, where they were identified as main provider, and they were listed #1, I think, on the group.
Yeah.
So,
and they're aggressively wanting our business, which means that we're important to them, and I like them to let us know. So,
No, I'm totally torn. Does anyone have any questions before I'm totally torn between the balance and the no hassle. No hassle, I like because she's here. And I can pick up the phone at 8 o'clock in the morning and call back. Balance is not. But I like them. I told you that. I got a good feeling when we sat with him. You know, he wasn't just a salesman. He seemed like a kid. It's a smaller company, which I liked. He does give the opportunity to train Jen and I on anything or whoever's in our seats. But my concern, which I just thought of now, is a 1-year contract. So is that 4,000 going to go up to 6,000 at the end of the year?
I don't know. Didn't ask that
well,
question.
I think that's the way,
It's-
that's something you can
everybody.
negotiate into the
I
contract.
mean, anybody can raise their
Right, but we're negotiating for, we haven't come down almost $2,000. That's a huge. And it just hit me as we were talking about it. And they're a CPA firm where no hassle is bookkeeping. What do you see the biggest differences in having one versus the other?
John can speak that better than I, but I'll try to put the stab at it. Bookkeepers have a tendency to be detailed, but CPAs look at the broad picture, and we need someone who does that. We need somebody who can look at, and is trying to find the art of accounting, not just the numbers. I feel better having someone that's got that skill set. I just do. This is a pretty complex thing that we've done, breaking it apart in 5 pieces. And that's kind of more demanding than, that's why I keep saying that, are they aware that we're doing really five different businesses or 4 subsidiaries in one main business altogether? That's a lot to take on.
well, and I feel like we're focused on I'm focused on, as a finance person, the audit at the end of the year when they get done.
Me too.
You know, and if they talked about the fact that they're basically gonna put together, from what we started, a program directly for us. It's you know, the way that they apply it, the way that they use it, the parts of it that we don't use yet. And there is some that we do too much of. So I mean, I would like them going in there and looking at it strongly as from a financial standpoint, from a professional side, CPA side, and the audit factor. So
you're leaning towards balance versus no?
that's what,
You're leaning towards balance versus no?
balance was my preference of the ones we spoke with. And I read the printout that you had. The bookkeeper part, I think, is gonna be she may be a great bookkeeper. But I think that I didn't get a good feeling it was a too low a level for us to be able to apply what we would do.
So the motion at the last meeting. Let's see, 2476 per month. For no hassle, at the most extreme level. That's 2 visits to the site per week. All the bookkeeping services. Pending today, so it looks like we're looking at balance is the challenger stepping into the ring
It's the only other one.
for $4,000. Based out of, did you say Phoenix,
Arizona?
There, is it Arizona?
No, they're San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego?
The corporate headquarters, they've got several branches, so most of them in San Diego, yeah,
Do they have a local rep or they flew out here to meet you?
they flew out.
We hire them. How do we deposit the checks?
Check scanner. They have to be scanned no matter what. She's been scanning them around. She would just send them to the check scanner and we then get to the bank and they're in.
So we need to purchase a check stamp.
The bank will provide a check scanner and we have to pay a service fee for that. We looked at that originally, and it was one of the things I recommended when we started this process last year, we just didn't get it done.
I'm not opposed to a check scanner. I like that idea. Makes life easier for Jennifer.
Well,
So check scanner, then how does it get in that folder?
I put it
She
in.
put it in that folder. She's going to have to anyway. To record the checks even before you send them, otherwise we'd have no record of the checks. So even if you send them to another place, unless you do a Dropbox and then they're responsible for picking up the check. Dropboxes are about $250 a month, I check. The bank even checked on a couple of them stores, so just
Will not our bookkeeper be responsible for entering these things into Appfolio?
No, I'm sure get the stuff that's sent to the bank, but the stuff that comes in the office, it's stuff in the check.
Okay.
it still requires entering some data. The only way we can get around not entering any check data is not taking checks.
So it's $1,524 more. To hire this other company.
Can they give us that much more?
Well, and they're not gonna come down to a bookkeeper.
No. Can they give us enough?
I think so. I think the value of their ability to have portfolio and their influence on that portfolio, and since it's our main software, what we do is with that now.
Part of, I feel like part of the increased cost is that fully. You know,
So I'm trying to understand, what's their main benefit with Appfolio? They can plug in better into it?
Right.
They also have a software development company that changed. They have an API relationship or it's application programming interface to be able to change it. They have a built-in team that can change things for us if we go, or even globally correct things. We've had to manually correct thousands of entries at some point, and they can globally do that, which we have no ability with. Nor would a bookkeeper.
Well, I suppose that has value.
So, can I ask you, do you see your position with working with whomever, was chosen, as, you know, working, overseeing either company, ensuring that invoices are being paid correctly and in a timely manner
Right.
and
That's the thing, is setting up the approval process of everything that goes in. So is that your question?
Yeah.
Do I have time for that? Yes.
that, do you have time for that?
Yes. Not to make time, because it's one of those things that I, you know, I have to, I check daily, but I don't look as intently. Because they're not showing.
Right, we've had Sean,
But
and
now with Sean being, going into semi-retirement, oh.
and Heather hopes.
Yeah, I'm
Do you?
feel
do-
comfortable enough
Yeah,
taking it on, yes.
okay,
So that's why I'm so torn, because the bookkeeping end of it, I know if she can handle it, it kills me to waste money, and I'm not saying that we'd be wasting money, because I do like balance. I really, I was impressed with the gentleman that was here, which is,
The salesman that they flew out here to get the contract.
yes,
But he instantly walked in the office and said, I really liked him.
which is like so unheard of.
Yes.
So I trusted him right away, because the other salesman was total sales,
Mhm.
and I was.
Yeah, I didn't trust the proper guy.
Right.
So one of the things
He's
I
gonna
love-
tell us what to get it.
Right,
Yeah,
and
do
he
want
had
to
10,000
volunteer.
people.
These other companies don't handle our money.
That's the other thing. Nobody actually is gonna handle it.
Well, no, she's picking up checks, she's handling it.
Well, she'll pick them up. If she was making the bank deposits, which was one of the things that I was gonna have taken off here anyway, because there was no reason for her to come here from Brandon to drop off the checks. We would drop off the checks.
Well, the check scanner, you don't even need to do that.
Right.
Well, I think the check scanner is necessary either way.
Right, no, I agree, totally.
Right now,
I
I'm
mean, I
only
asked
dropping
for
off
that.
checks, but if, I'd like to get whoever does this,
Mhm.
out of the, one of the things we've had problems with associate, like I've got 4 bank accounts I can't close, it had pennies in them. That are part of my audit right now, because I'm not on the account to close them, nor is anybody else in this board. So basically, I don't want to get into a situation with this HOA to see that we've got pieces like this lingering because we've given them all the authority to somebody else. So these companies, out of the gate, their policies, we don't move money, we don't handle the money, we handle the bookkeeping. That's what they do. So
Which is exactly what we
what we
need.
want, that's what we want.
Yes.
So the board is still.
It basically takes her role and the treasurer's role. Makes it a treasurer function, not an accounting function.
Mhm.
The accounting function we're hiring these people to actually do the accounting. And make it all fit together so that we can see what's going on real time.
Yes, I understand.
And I think with from John's point of view also is having the financial audits and feeling more confident and comfortable with balance, being able to do those audits as Sean has spent hours upon hours
And
upon
Jason.
hours, and Jason with the auditor and having him step back. We need to have a company that can
Do that work.
do that work.
I feel. I'm in favor of a local person that I can reach out, touch, and talk to. If they have a problem, we can actually get them here and address them face to face. I think I hear what you're saying. I don't think that the company that keeps our books should also be the ones that audit us. I think that should be 2 separate companies.
You're
That's
not
not-
talking
not
about-
doing
That's
that.
not what I'm
We're talking about
saying.
audit support, they can't
Support.
legally be the same thing.
Right.
Answering the auditor's questions and such. And a bookkeeper does not necessarily able to answer those questions. Yeah. Can I, there's a different level of service that you're having with a bookkeeper versus an accounting company.
They also can handle the taxes, which is, we spent $3,000 a year on that. I filed the taxes myself this year, waiting for the audit to be done to turn over the tax accounts is doing most of the time. So also, which I forgot to mention on the treasury report, that we fill out the taxes and sent them in so that we miss the deadline. By the way, it came up better than. Such a.
So I will tell you that, when I first started looking at this, I was like you were. I tend to want to look at the guy in the eye when I'm talking to him about our finances. But I also have been in their shoes too. You know, I'm here in, Florida, keeping the books for my clients back in DC. So, you know, I'm doing for my smaller clients what he's doing for our group. And so I'm comfortable with that. I look at what my problems have been. I feel certain that they'll be able to handle our accounting and finances as much as we can. And like I say, one of the big issues is if we're just hiring somebody for a bookkeeper, we can just get QuickBooks, which is I think what your firm is going to do. It's not your firm, but the person you're working with. But we're trying to make this work through an integrated approach with Appfolio, which is in itself a unique animal, and they've been growing and changing even as time we've been working with them. So a fair amount of the cost of doing this is the fact that we're working with the company that is familiar with Appfolio, not QuickBooks, not other things. but
Both companies are familiar with that.
Working in it and being able to work on the back end are two different things. I worked in it.
Okay. Well,
Besides,
May I ask a question?
Yes,
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the presentation, to the finance committee and Patty. You know, I kind of came on from John's perspective. I was thinking bookkeeper, the Appfolio CPA is interesting, and then sort of the full service accounting background. My question is, when can these other firms start and start to transition? How quickly can we do that?
I can answer that for you if you like, Matt. All of them were given a heads up to start for January 1. So that we can close the books out and give them to them at the end of the year. Doing a mid-year transition is always a bad idea.
However,
Thank you.
they will be working on our accounts, getting things ready to
Probably,
set up for going
yeah.
forward. So
Because they
You know,
said
there's,
2 months.
SOPs and other things about actually running the operation between us and them.
So they can hit the ground running January 1st if we sign off on them. So they have the 2 months to get ready. Yeah.
And then one other issue, if I may, is, and I kind of agreed with Patty, and I thought the same question. I had it written down. So they came in, we negotiated well, we got a good price on balance. Everybody likes balanced. How long can we hold them, or at least expect to keep that at that point and not get that significant jump? So
Yes.
that our budget goes from 52 to 72 or 74 pretty quickly. I'm just curious, can we get a 2 to 3 year deal? Are they willing to do that? That was my next question.
I didn't ask, but it's a good idea. I could ask for a longer term if you want to fix it. I'm pretty sure they'd probably agree to it.
so it's a 1-year contract for $4,000 a month.
Right.
Well, and I'm comfortable with that because this whole concept of working with Appfolio and the things that we're going to be trying to do with this, if they don't work, I don't want to stay with these people any more than I have to. You know, once we get comfortable with them and we get things working and they seem to be working okay, and we feel like it's the advantage of the association to be going this direction, then we have the knowledge of what it's cost to run and how things are going, and better able to negotiate a longer term contract.
Good point, John. That I hadn't thought of it that perspective. Thank you.
I could also ask if they'll agree to fixing the price for 3 years is contingent on renewal, right? I could do that. There's all kinds of ways to negotiate the renewal of the contract. We're kind of trying to do that out of the gate, yes.
I agree.
So
I am comfortable with the motion as it stands at the last meeting. But anyone else is going to make a motion?
well, I won't vote for that motion.
What?
I won't vote for the motion you made.
I didn't.
So, well, so just going back, the motion was it was as a, yes, it was the,
Did I make the motion today? I
Yeah.
got the motion from last,
yes,
Yes.
we do have a motion on the table to approve this.
no, it
No,
needs to be a new motion. So this is the motion that was made and approved at the last meeting. I am comfortable with the way we motioned it at the last meeting.
the new, yeah, okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. Then currently, as it stands, it's no hassle. We do not have to, if we stay with no hassle, if that's our intention, we don't technically have to make a new motion. If we were to change, we would need a motion, because the motion was to give opportunity before applying that current motion, like making the start date.
Like a day of execution. if you
Yeah,
will.
there's a stay of.
Okay, so from the minutes from last meeting, it said bookkeeping firms, only 2 have been attained. Johanna Wells motion to approve, no hassle with bookkeeping, and second by Mark for the $2,476 per month based on conditional services. John Derry, Patty Mercer opposed, and discussion was to rescind the motion 4-2 with no hassle until October meeting if a better company isn't found, at which time the provisional approval for no hassle would be approved. So based on that, it would seem to me that we're saying that Balance, John and Sean has said that Balance would be a better company than no hassle.
So we would need a new motion to say there is something better.
Right.
Yes,
That's-
that's how I interpret it.
We're all saying the same thing, I think. A new motion needs to be made. If you want to hire Balance, someone needs to motion.
I make a motion. Do that.
So, okay, John, you are motioning to hire Balance Proper
Right.
based on the 1-year contract provided proposal.
Proper separate company.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's right. What's the full name of it?
Can I- I'll use this.
Balance solution, I think.
So,
As-
asset solution.
I'll use the,
Okay.
some.
Is there a second
Second,
discussion, even though we were discussing?
Discuss.
Discuss.
I don't think it's worth the extra $1,500 to have a California company coming in and run our HOA, so.
To me, you
You're
have
not
to
running
work.
your HOA. They're just doing bookkeeping.
I don't understand. You have 2 people that have experience in accounting. We make our living off of it. I'm a CPA and I have been doing this. Why would you not give weight to what I said?
John, I do, and it's not like I make the decision lightly. I'm only one vote on a board of 6 people, so
Proposal to.
I just think that it's not worth,
it.
I just don't see, based on what was presented, it's worth the extra $1,500 a month. That's all I'm saying. Like, is it a good company? I think they're both good companies.
Well,
Is it worth
if we're
$1,500?
going cheap, we can hire a company to do
No.
QuickBooks out in the back out here, they can keep our books.
It's not cheap. This isn't an emotional decision for me. I don't,
No, it's not.
I don't know
I'm
one
just
or the
saying.
other. I just think dollars to donuts, $4,000 versus 2,400. Somebody I can reach out and touch versus somebody I have to call 4 time zones away.
3 times on
So
Anyone daylight savings? No?
California, because of daylight savings.
Okay,
I personally don't think that it's a land company that we're hiring. You know. I don't
Let me
think
say
that's gonna
something.
get them all.
Why don't we do the finish the?
I just want to make one statement.
Go ahead.
Very simple. We spent a huge amount of money making this change. we lost a whole lot of money not making the change. We still haven't even come close to what they were spending monthly. I'd rather this keeps track of everything we do, all the time that's put into this. I put 40 or 60 hours a month into it myself. So I don't think this other company is gonna come across and say, hey, we got 20 hours for you and pull it out. I don't, think it's gonna change drastically after we get into it. This one says it's a fixed amount of stuff here.
This 40K, I'm sorry, you said this 40K is for a fixed amount of hours
It's
or
for,
4,000?
it's not a fixed amount of hours. It's a base accounting hours of 25 and 15 hours of administrative work plus. hours.
Okay.
10 people compared to mine.
Matt?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. My wife hasn't divorced me yet. We're in a hotel room. Hey. And we're not on the ship yet. Hey, so Mark, I came into this meeting thinking the way you were thinking. I have to say the perspective is, so let me just make one thing clear. So back to those hours. So are we mixing apples with apples in terms of how much time these different firms are going to be working for us? I don't know that answer.
Can we get a clarification on the time?
No offers 20 hours, 5 hours, 2 times a week. So 20 hours a week. And balance is 40 for them. And then 40 per month for balance.
So
So
technically 20 per week is with no hassle. And
20 per week, no,
Per
20
month.
per month.
per month.
Per month. Oh, okay, so 20 per month for no
5
hassle,
per week,
5 per week. And then you're saying 40,
40 hours
so it
Per month.
8.
per month.
per month.
All right.
And it's a 1-year contract.
We can't hear you again, Matt.
Oh, you're on mute, Mac, sorry.
I thought everybody was lip readers. My apology.
Trying.
So we're getting arguably a higher quality firm. CPA can do additional accounting, auditing, coordination, taxes. More hours that are devoted towards it, plus perhaps a better portfolio perspective. I have to say, my perspective is significantly changed, unless I'm missing something. And again, this is not my area of expertise, so I'm somewhat deferring to the expertise.
So 20, and then is that 5 extra on top of that 20? Or is that 5 that like in person?
In person, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay,
She also said that for services you don't do, she reduce her rate, right? I'm not mistaken.
and so it would be that adding on to that 20, basically, what I'm gathering.
Yep, we do additional.
Okay.
All right, I think everybody knows how they want to vote, right?
Yep.
So we can go ahead and vote. And so could you please reread John's motion?
Okay, the motion is to approve balanced asset solution proposal. If there was motion made by John Deere, seconded by Kathy. Is that good?
All in favor?
Aye.
2 ayes.
Matt?
No.
Oh, no,
You just muted, you were on unmute, now you muted, sorry. Now you're good.
Sorry, guys. I have to say, I'm convinced by the presentation. I've got to vote for balanced. Aye.
Okay. So 3 currently. No, well,
At 50/50 right now.
I know. I mean, I see the added value. But it's. What do you think, Rob?
But I kind of like I mean, I know everybody's saying that the local doesn't give you as much, but I do like the local. I hate saying it that way. Cause if you don't get someone that's, you can talk to and you're waiting, what happens if they don't get back with you?
Well, this group does have a dedicated person, and see other people, they can get back to you there. Just make a mistake.
Sorry,
I am waiting on you two to, I don't want to sway you.
We just need one of you to make a decision.
I'm gonna go with local, I'm gonna go.
okay. Great. Yes. Accounting is not my expertise. And you guys, you felt confident.
I think John and I both, which we don't normally agree on things.
More recently they did, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That aside.
Don't want to make you guys wait so much now, but,
You must make a decision.
I have.
No pressure, that's decision as a board member.
Patty, somebody,
This is like my last.
Patty, somebody put a gun to your head and you have to
We
pick
we
one
could
company.
do, we could do a flip, we could do a flip of a coin if you'd like.
I do want to leave with a really good accounting, company. And I'm a little bit more swayed to go with, try the balancer,
Balance.
balance, because I do like the back end, support
Mhm.
from a technical side. I do like that. I think that's value worth spending. And I do can appreciate how much time you guys put into it and that you've done the accounting. So if I'm gonna lean one way, I'm gonna give Sean this one. I feel, wow, yeah.
All right. So that,
Yeah.
you went on. So,
I'm gonna just go with it.
yep,
That's-
and you know my vote on opposed, so that's 4, 2 against, motion carries, we will
Yes.
hire balanced.
And I already sent an email, replied, we'll talk about giving an extension on the fee without renewal required for 2 years.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Time to go home.
When are we gonna approve the budget?
Well.
Supposed to happen already.
Budget.
So just to be clear, no one on the board has any ties with balance, that's correct.
That's correct.
It's not like a cousin or
None of the-
or something like that. That's good.
No, I've never heard of them,
Yeah.
but I'll ask around the hotel.
Is there anything else we need to talk about?
But,
Well, the budget.
approval,
Where-
is this something we need to,
No, we can't, we just mucked with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you need to go back and.
Revise it and send it actually.
We approve the budget at the annual meeting, correct? Typically,
I'm sorry,
We actually only approve the fee.
only the fee, not the budget itself. Budget is a fluid thing that changes, obviously.
So you
Every day.
But the assessment is what we approve.
You said it incorrectly, John is correct. If
Okay.
we approve the assessment, we could go off the assessment sheet that we did. The surplus would change here and there, and I would change the contingency to balance it to those numbers, but if we want to approve that assessment, it should be done before the election.
so we will,
So, but you need to,
It should be done before not before the election. The election's the
So-
next week.
No, the election's the 30th.
the 30th, do we have any more meetings before then that we have to?
So the election's not gonna be November, it's gonna be November 30th.
November 30th, the ballot or the polls open on the 1st. But the election's the
This is
30th.
the longest drawn out election I've ever been a part of.
It's because of the electronic and we do this 30-day thing.
you do it early, right? Like, early voting for national elections goes early,
Yeah, it's something more these days.
right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna live long enough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
Don't say that.
Okay,
Okay.
anything else we need to talk about? Is that it?
Okay, are we ready to adjourn?
I'll revise my budget. We're gonna have to figure out when we're gonna take
Oh,
that.
we are supposed to ask for resident input.
Oh, yes, of course.
Sorry.
Thank you. That's the most important part.
Input.
I apologize, resident input.
Is anybody online, Jen?
Two people. Mac is one.
Is Bert still online?
Okay.
Gentlemen, ma'am, sir.
No comments from my wife. She's still asleep.
As you recall, the last, meeting. The, that's really, was,
Social media?
Planning authority.
They exceeded it.
Need to, take place.
All right, put it on the agenda for the next meeting,
Well,
because I have no idea what he was talking about, and I don't remember the facts about it, so.
we had a spending authority. I thought we did make a motion about
We
it,
did, it's in the
but
minutes.
We did make a motion about it.
Not for social committee.
Not through the social committee
Oh.
specifically.
oh, well, on that note, I mean, I'm gonna still be active with the social committee, but I will not be on the board. So I don't know. I don't foresee needing me personally. I mean, for the social committee, yeah, I would say yes, and that will all go through. Management, so isn't that the motion on the table that these things go through management?
What is the issue? Are you saying the issue is with the social authority?
All. And, without. Without other people, last year we canceled all, spending.
Well, then at last meeting, we rescinded that, but we did not give it necessarily to me.
The portion, the board spending authority for.
Yeah.
Right.
But we didn't, but nothing was said about the social committee. It was the board, Patty and Mark. There was nothing about the social committee's spending authority.
What's your budget
But in the-
balance of the year?
They have if you look at the financials, the social committee is overspent
Yes, well, quite a bit of respect.
quite significantly.
Even though
Well,
last of them, they're gonna be
if-
almost 400.
all the events and stuff have came to the board. It's not like anything was spent
Right, 'cause we
outside of
need
the
We're just talking about the
approval.
budget itself.
Oh, well, the budget, okay.
Yeah, because as more money was needed, they came and asked for additional money.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
what was approved, she's just saying that we obviously overspent the budget, so maybe we should extend more spending. We've got $21,000 allotted to social events this year.
Mhm.
We've had what, 7 or 6 this year, something like that? Six events.
We are now going on to, I think the Santa is the last one right now at this point.
But I looked at the financials.
Right.
That you sent.
Yeah,
And we had a budget for the social committee of 10,000. And you have the social committee as of this moment, and I don't know if all the invoices are in for like the fall festival or whatever. Is at 16,000. So that's a significant over expenditure of what has been budgeted for this committee.
Well, so yes, so we spent, what we're saying is.
And this is only October, and you're talking about wanting to do Christmas.
Right, but that's a little bit. Misleading, because we've made a lot of money on lake house rentals, and then the one event. Made us $1,000, was that not correct?
it's still got
So we
the same.
spent,
But on the lake house, you do have to
And same to-
remember, the lake
But-
house
but those were
is
approved.
taxable income. So 30% of the income, so like if the,
Patty, what would you like to do? Tell the social committee they can't spend any more money the rest of this year?
I'm
Patty,
Kathy,
Kathy, sorry, it's getting.
I know. She's the cuter one. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that we need to make,
Okay, let's put this on at the next meeting for next month. Draft up a policy for spending for the social committee to be approved for 2024.
it's,
I think the easiest thing to do is to take the total we budgeted.
So this would be the authority to spend without coming to the board and getting.
Correct.
Yeah, a base amount per social committee event. They shouldn't have to come, though the social committee, they're charged with carrying out social events. They shouldn't have to come.
Well,
At
we-
the end at every.
They're all
event
been
for approval.
somewhat planned.
but if they
Yeah.
have, but my point is, Mark, if you wanna do, they have a budget of 10,000. They've spent 16,000.
How much
So
money have they made?
I haven't
We
seen
collected
any,
we collected more money on the rents, right?
but
If you're referring to the rents, the rent has collected more money than we spent, but we didn't collect hardly any money for some of the events.
I was gonna
so
say we didn't.
We went
collect.
backwards on two of them.
Just
Right.
from my own personal experience, Summerfest made $7,000.
Well, did you send, did you ever give us a after action
You got
report?
you got all the packets and everything.
It's on the NASDAQ in public, but private.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? Do you want to tell them not to spend any more money this year? Should we cancel Santa Claus?
Santa's already paid for.
Okay, so then we're not spending any more money for the social committee this year. So draft a policy for 2024 that the board can approve. Right? Does that meet the intent?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to adjourn,
Second,
all in favor?
I.
Have a great night, everyone.
Aye.
Good night, have fun, bon voyage.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, guys.
Definitely.
Thank you, John.